If you like this video, check out my full review of every episode of Season 2 of The Twilight Zone from 1985, the link's below. There's an episode of the Twilight Zone reboot from the 80s called Aqua Vita, and it's strikingly similar to The Substance, the hit body horror film starring Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. Did The Substance take elements from this story? Is it purely coincidence? Well, let's take a look at the similarities. Elizabeth Sparkle, a famous Hollywood star, an incredible beauty, and long-running host of a popular TV workout series, loses her job when they want to look for some younger, hotter talent.
We need her young. We need her hot. Find me somebody new!
Christy Copperfield's job is under the same threat. She too works in television as a news anchor, and she worries about her career as she's getting older. Talks can be heard on set about looking for a younger replacement for her.
We're only talking about a few cosmetic changes. Fresh look, something a little more hip, you know. We need to talk about Christy too.
Why?
The numbers are way down. Let's face it, Christy is old news, and old news is boring.
Our two main characters have different social lives, but they're in similar emotional situations and seem to both be lonely people. Christy has a home with a loving husband, but we never see her with any actual friends outside of her job. We see her talking to one coworker at Christy's surprise birthday party, but that's it. Only her husband looks to be a real presence in her life. She regularly makes self-disparaging remarks about her age, and she won't even take a vacation with her husband because if someone fills in for her at work, maybe they'll like that person better and she'll lose her job.
How do you hang on to him?
Him? He's got this thing for older women. Just hate birthdays.
Birthdays are fun.
Yeah, they're fun when you're 10 and you're hoping for a new bicycle, they're fun. But when you're 40 and you're worried about your ratings, they're a cruel joke.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it.
It's easy for you to say, Mark. You're getting character lines and I'm getting crow's feet. That doesn't go over big in television, especially if you're a woman.
Elizabeth lives in an expensive condo that celebrates her glory, alone, and we don't see her interact with a single friend or even have a good interaction with a coworker. She's desperate to hold on to her place in the world as a celebrity and feels it slipping away with her age. Losing her career, as well as the rest of the events of the movie, lead her to fall deeper into her insecurity to the point where it cripples her socially. At the television station, Christy walks with her coworker as they go to visit Christy's husband while he's working, photographing an exaggerated and sexual-looking workout session. That'll probably remind you of the Pump It scene from The Substance, where Elizabeth's other half, Sue, leads a scene that's shot in the extreme close-up way that Christy's husband's kinda is in his photo shoot. Both scenes are obviously serving the same purpose, to show the media obsession with youth and hotness, something making both of our protagonists insecure and sad. Of course, there's also the main plot, where a woman is offered a magic potion that makes her young again. Elizabeth gets in an accident and crosses paths with a nurse that has a connection to The Substance. He sees how sad she is about her life and slips her a USB drive that advertises The Substance. She places an order and she's taken to a secret location where she picks it up, later injecting herself with it and leading to the transformation process that gives birth to Sue, a younger version of herself, while the old Elizabeth sleeps for 7 days. They take turns living their lives every week so the other one can rest. In Aqua Vita, Christy's co-worker notices Christy's insecurities about her age and claims to be 40 herself. No way, she can't look that good at 40, but she proves it with her ID. Her secret? Aqua Vita. Just like Elizabeth, she gets a card for this mysterious service and makes an order. The water arrives and the next day she looks 10 years younger. So there's definitely a difference in the result between The Substance and Aqua Vita, creating a separate young other you versus making yourself look younger, but they're obviously operating under the same theme. Both young versions of our protagonists immediately find success at work. Sue becomes the network's new superstar and is plastered all over billboards. And Christy has rediscovered passion in her marriage as her husband fawns over her, taking pictures as they go out bike riding, and her ratings are up at work. But these magic solutions come with a cost. For Elizabeth, the selfishness of her younger half leads to overstaying her allotted time, Sue drawing more and more spinal fluid from Elizabeth so she can stay out longer, and Elizabeth starts rapidly aging as a result. For Christy, Aqua Vita has an unavoidable side effect. You start aging really fast if you don't continue to drink it. They trap you into needing it forever, and they squeeze you out of all your money by jacking up the price.
To Aqua Vita for
$5,000.
Pardon me? $5,000? That is infuriating. I could have you investigated, you know. I mean, what kind of racket is this?
Hey, if you don't want it, I'll just take it back.
But this is where our stories diverge greatly. In the substance, Elizabeth simply can't give up on the idea of her younger self being someone great in the world, which results in her getting older and older as Sue continues to abuse the situation. Sue is now supposed to go on air for a New Year's special, but she's long past her return date where she's supposed to rest, and she has no more spinal fluid to take out. She goes to rest, and Elizabeth awakens to see how horribly aged and deformed she's become and kills Sue. But she immediately regrets it, finding a way to bring her back. A fight results in which Elizabeth dies, and Sue, late for her New Year's performance and suffering horrible effects from not being rested, resorts to injecting herself with the substance to try to do something. She ends up turning into a hideous monstrosity, and the movie goes totally insane. Christie's story goes a very different direction. After several panic situations of getting old in the morning and not having enough Aqua Vita because they're charging her $5,000 now, she's forced to tell her husband everything.
There are other jobs. You are a journalist. You're a writer. You're not just a face. You'll get something. You don't see me going anywhere, do you? I love you.
Look at me. If we walk down the street, people are gonna stare at us if we hold hands. If we go back to our cute little hotel, people are gonna think you're some kind of gigolo. How are you gonna feel the first time somebody mistakes me for your mother?
But Christie's husband makes a sacrifice in the name of love. He drinks the Aqua Vita himself. He grows old for his wife to show her that it's all gonna be okay. And we end on them sitting happily together on a park bench. Aqua Vita is a happy ending version of the substance in a way. And I think another major difference, aside from the ending and the nature of each character's transformation, is in the motivation of the potion provider. In Aqua Vita, this is obviously an evil company that is trapping people into needing their service so they can financially squeeze them. In the substance, we don't know the motive. We never see anything get paid for or prices go up. For all we know, it's free. And there is no direct side effect. The only reason the process fails is because the balance was not maintained between the two women. We imagine they could have gone on for years with no problem and no evil doing by the company. One is the story of a woman escaping this evil financial trap, overcoming her fear of aging, and realizing the deep love of her husband when he sacrifices his youth to be with her. The other is a dark descent into madness as two halves of a woman tear each other apart until there's nothing left. They're different, but they're similar in key aspects. Women insecure about their age, working in television on camera, there's plans to replace them for being old, they're given an advertisement for a magic product, this product creates a younger version of themselves, horrible side effects that cause them to rapidly age, panic and desperation to keep themselves looking young, and the eerie coincidence of the sexualized workout scene. So how much of the substance was actually taken from this Twilight Zone episode? How much of the Twilight Zone episode itself is taken from older stories about magic potions of everlasting youth? I don't know, but there are definitely some interesting similarities. I'd be curious to hear if the director has actually seen this episode or if it's all total coincidence. Thanks for watching. You can watch Aqua Vita right here on YouTube for free, and you can watch my full reviews of Season 1 and 2 The Twilight Zone right here on the Under the Mayo channel. Bye.